how can we actually bring it into a modern context and say, okay, that's what they taught, that's who they were, we know that now, but what was the essence of this philosophy? What was the essence of what they were trying to teach us? So how do you bring those old ideas into a modern age and really make them useful for people today?
I mean, that's a fantastic question. I mean, one of the things I find interesting about Hadot is his kind of line is, you've got to read them in their context in order to get what they get that essence. So yeah, we can think about it as like there's somehow an opposition between understanding what they were doing back then and what they might be doing for us now. Hadot's position was no. If you can understand what they were doing in their context, what a philosophical school was,
Hmm.
what were the relationships between teachers and pupils, from within professional philosophy today. Understand that, and then you can see, well, maybe we can actually translate. So for example, say Seneca with Lucilius. A lot of your listeners will be familiar with, the moral letters of Seneca to this guy Lucilius. He's kind of politician. He's clearly got some background, particularly in Epicurean philosophy, and they're conducting a kind of epistolary, that is letter-based exchange, which is based around a teacher-pupil relationship, which is kind of almost like a life coach relationship.
Hmm.
We don't get to see Lucilius's letters. Seneca clearly responds to letters that obviously existed. So Lucilius is writing to Seneca, and he's kind of like a counselor, a life coach, however you want to put it. Lucilius is describing at different points what he's having, life situations, life challenges, and Seneca is responding, not just as a kind of a classroom teacher, but as somebody who has some intimate knowledge of his characteristics, his strengths and his weaknesses, and he's tailoring his philosophical teaching to the particular student, in order to help that student to overcome their particular difficulties. And over the course of the letters, he gradually keeps introducing more theory, more theory, more theory. But at the same time, you're always coming back to that essence that you've mentioned. So there's a kind of expansion movement in the letters. As the letters go, they get longer, there's more theory, but they're always coming back, yeah, hey, this is a life philosophy. What's in your control? What's not in your control?
Hmm.
What's important? What's not important? When you're reading, how should you be reading? What's important to be taking out of what you're reading? And all of the other things that Seneca's telling Lucilius. So there's this kind of contraction as well. So
Hmm.
it's a very pedagogical relationship. But some academics will say, well, that's a historical thing, that's all in the past. And my response has always been a little bit commonsensical, maybe a bit rough. That's like, well, why couldn't that happen today? Why couldn't that
Hmm.
happen? I don't see that there's anything about that relationship and that kind of pedagogical exchange that is impossible. Surely
Hmm.
historical situations change. None of us are Roman senators or whatever Lucilius was, but we have jobs in companies, we have positions of responsibility, we're fathers, we're sons, we're daughters, we're relations, we have friendships and so on and so forth. Why is this relevant? I mean, in terms of that question, I think because Stoicism is talking about those kinds of relationships, those kinds of
Hmm.
experiences, it's talking about the ups and the downs, adversity and prosperity, and what do you do with them?
Hmm.
I simply don't think those questions go out of fashion. I'm not a relativist.
I agree, and I think that one of the reasons why that relationship between Seneca and Lucilius was so beautiful is because Seneca, he can allow us to get a better picture of what it means to live with philosophy as a way of life, because he put the life into philosophy. It wasn't just all theorizing, right? He wasn't just talking to Lucilius about a theory about philosophy. He was talking about, you're dealing with this very real problem, I'm dealing with this very real problem. He said, famously that, I'm just one patient getting well, trying to talk to another patient getting well, right? Like, we're all in this together. And what he essentially did was, as I said, he put the life into philosophy, which is what it's supposed to be, right? So you're supposed to be able to talk to people about, this is an issue I'm dealing with, and maybe I have some experience that could help you with that, and some knowledge that would help you with that. And in many ways, I actually think that the modern personal development movement, as much as it's very there's so much crap out there, there's so many hucksters out there, but I think that a few people actually did it right. And I think that the personal development movement is somewhat of a rebranding of philosophy in a way that people can, in a way, like, they can understand it, right? Because you go to somebody like, Tony Robbins, for example, you go to one of his seminars. Look, yeah, it's big, it's flashy, there's lights, there's dancers, all sorts of things that you got all the bits and bobs, right? But at the core of it, it's a guy who has his own school, right? His own
Yep.
philosophy for life,
Yep.
sharing that philosophy with other people who are dealing with very real issues in their life and trying to help them to reach a new level.